Well. Welcome everybody to another Let's Talk Lions live stream. It's good to have you here. So here we are back at it. Thank you all for liking this video and for really just hanging out with me on a Saturday morning at 11 a.m. Because I got people that are like, hey man, this time slot, it's not wonderful. And I get it. But you being here shows me your absolute dedication. So thank you, everybody. Let me know in the chat on the side. Everything's looking good. Is the audio coming through well? Had a couple friends trying to help me out over the last week because I've had a little bit of an issue with the live stream connectivity. It feels like AOL. That's right, American Online, or should I say America Online? Even though we have Jonathan Foster here from England, so here we are. Appreciate all the love, everybody hanging out. Hope you got your coffee. If you are here in the replay later down the road, thanks for stopping by. But all those that are hanging out with me here live, it's good to have you here. I see Joey 2 times. Nothing coming in. Oh my goodness, from Australia watching at 1 a.m. You, sir, deserve a medal. I'll say that. Appreciate it. Thank you, Joey 2 times. Thanks. Good to know that everything looks good, sounds good. And all in all, so there's a lot to talk about, I think, going into today. So if you have questions, throw them into the comment section. Obviously, that's why we're here. It's a live Q&A. But I also did set up a main, what would you call a segment for today that I'd like to talk about it. Captain Ice Cold, what's good? Glad to have you here. Everything looks good, sounds good. Appreciate everybody being here today. Now, I have a video coming out later today, pretty much once the live stream is over. Already shot it, edited it, it's ready to go. And we are going to touch upon it a little bit today, but it has to do with Peter Schrager's mock draft. If you guys saw the mock draft, I look forward to hearing your thoughts. We are going to cover picks 1 through 10 in today's live stream. But I do see some questions already coming in. And one question that came in last week, so I think it was on Friday, Jonathan Foster from England asked, how long into the season without a win will we need to get before Motor City Dan Campbell straps on the pads, runs out there and blocks for Williams and Swift? That's a good one. That's a funny one. I don't see it being very long. Probably one game. No, just kidding. Appreciate everybody being here. And first and foremost, somebody brought up a great question regarding the whole Atlanta being willing to trade back, and should the Lions look to trade up to 4? That was a question that I saw somebody asking, and quite frankly, no. My personal opinion, for the Lions to trade up from the 7 spot to the 4 spot does not feel wise. Something that I believe in this year is the Lions should not be looking to draft a quarterback unless it's Trevor Lawrence or Zach Wilson. Now, Justin Fields, I'm going to say this about the young man. Excellent quarterback. He is very skilled, and I think he's going to have a good career in the NFL. I just don't think it's with the Detroit Lions. And seeing the rebuilding process that we're in, it doesn't feel like it's the Lions. If the Lions were to trade up to the 4 spot in order to draft Justin Fields, I would be perturbed. I would not enjoy that so much. I don't think the Lions should be looking to draft a quarterback. It's my own personal opinion. If you disagree, drop it in the chat. Jake Bishop, good freaking morning to you too. So yes, when it looks like, the possibility of the Lions drafting a quarterback, moving up to that 4 spot, no, don't love it. Don't even like it a little bit. In order for the Lions, really, if the Lions are going to be trading places at all, not the movie, it should be trading backwards. And that is what we are going to get at here. So this week, Peter Schrager dropped his first mock draft. Peter Schrager, here's the thing about mock drafts. And again, I have a video coming out all about the Lions specifically in this mock draft right after the live stream. So stay tuned, just like Bugs Bunny once said on Looney Tunes. When it comes to mock drafts, all the way up until this point, truth of the matter is, anything can happen. Just like Ellie Goulding once said, anything can happen. you look at it, here we are finally in April and all the trades that have taken place. Look at Carolina and Sam Darnold and how that now affects them. They don't need a quarterback. So all of these things happen. Every mock draft up until last week is pretty much pointless. It's all hoopla. So when you look at Peter Schrager's mock draft, very specifically at the one spot, he has Jacksonville taking he has Jacksonville taking Trevor Lawrence. That's every other individual in the entire world is on that train. We all know that's happening. That's why Urban Meyer is coming out. He's coming back. It's for Trevor Lawrence. Number two, at the number 2 spot, we have the Jets taking Zach Wilson. Now, that I believe also to be true. I've been thinking that the whole time. And obviously, as they have moved on from Darnold, it just makes sense. That's kind of where we're at. And now, listen, I know some people coming into number 3, Mac Jones, San Francisco. That is what Peter Schrager is predicting. And a lot of people are thinking that as well. And it's kind of up in the air. Could I see them going for Justin Fields? Yeah, I really could. However, Mac Jones seems to suit their needs. And that is probably where they're going. That's what he's predicting. But very specifically, let's look at New England. Peter Schrager has predicted that New England will trade with Atlanta and pick up Justin Fields. That is the guess. Now, this is where a lot of people are like, hey, maybe the Lions should look to trade up to number 4. Maybe they should get Justin Fields. Look, with New England, it makes sense to me. Last year, when New England picked up Cam Newton, there was this moment where I was like, oh man, Bill Belichick they're looking to follow this mold of mobile quarterbacks. And really, it was kind of like hey, let's get Cam Newton if he's got another good year in him. Man, maybe we make the playoffs in wild card and we go on a run. It's a good time. If not, we learn how to create an offense around a mobile quarterback, a guy with legs. So it makes sense that New England would look to trade up to 4 in order to get a guy like Justin Fields. Have him sit underneath Cam Newton for a season, check it out, watch how he plays, see how he develops, and then use that working into the new scheme that New England is creating. Big Wes Kivian. It's one of those. He predicts, he says, we're not drafted a QB this year. He's like, no, it doesn't make sense with the Goff's restructure. And that I agree with. We have taken Goff. We pulled him in. We said Goff is our guy for 2021 and 2022. We have tied a millstone around our neck with Jared Goff. Basically just being like, yeah, this is our guy. We know we're going to have him 21, 22. Is there the possibility that the Lions draft a quarterback to learn and develop under him? Sure, yeah, it's there. I don't like it. Not one bit. However, it is a possibility, but I do believe that Jared Goff's our QB for the next 2 years. So if you need a new jersey, I mean, you might as well go get it. But yes, that is kind of where we're at. And I also see, yeah, all in all, looking at it, I do not think that the Lions move up to the 4 spot. And New England moving to the 4 is very, very possible. Peter Schrager is a stud, a very smart guy. He's predicted a lot of things correct. So I could see that coming to fruition. Now, also, when you look at Peter Schrager's mock draft, he then has at number 5, the Cincinnati, not Slater, sorry, Chase to Cincinnati. That's the right one right there. Peter Schrager is predicting that Jamar Chase goes to Cincinnati. Why? Because Joe Burrow and Jamar Chase have that chemistry. You look at what they were able to do together. It's no secret that's who Joe Burrow wants. He would like a guy to throw to. Do I like this? No, I don't. And I know you guys all know that I'm a big advocate of you got to protect your QB. You got to protect QB1 if you want QB1 to last more than 3 years in the NFL. Look at what happened to Joe Burrow last year, right? So even looking at this, I'm like, I do get it and I understand it, especially knowing the chemistry that's already built between the two. But I do not love it. I really think that Cincinnati needs either Slater or Sewell. That's really where they should go. However, looking at what they got here, looks like he's predicting Chase to go to Cincy. And really, that's one of, if not the top wide receiver in the draft. So moving on from there, We have, this is where he has predicted Slater, Peter Schrager, number 6, Rashawn Slater to Miami. And quite frankly, that one makes sense. You give some more protection to Tua. Now, really, all of this, I'm just trying to get to the big one, which is Peter Schrager has predicted that the Arizona Cardinals trade up from 16 with the Detroit Lions. Detroit goes down. Thank you, everybody, for being here today. Drop your thoughts in the chat. How do you guys feel about this? Honestly, how do you guys feel? Do you think that Detroit trading down to the 16th spot, because not only do we trade down to 16, but we get a 2022 first round and a 2022 third round pick from Arizona, if this is correct? Again, this is just a mock draft by Peter Schrager. Good Morning Football. If you're just joining the live stream right now, don't want you to think that this is actually transpiring. So this is kind of what we got here. He's predicting Arizona comes up and Arizona looks to grab Kyle Pitts, give that weapon to Kyler Murray. But I want to look at this. Not only does he predict that Detroit goes down to the 16, that we get the 2022 first and third, but that Detroit somehow gets Devontae Smith. He falls into our lap. Heisman Trophy winner, wide receiver Devontae Smith to the Detroit Lions. How do you feel about that? Drop that in the chat. Looking forward to reading it. What's happening, my man? It's good to see you. So with that being said, this is the thought. This is where, and quite frankly, I'm going to tell you this. If this were to transpire, this is what my entire video is about, so I don't want to get too deep into it. But I would love that for the Lions to be able to acquire a 2022 first and third round pick. You look at Brad Holmes, that's what he likes. That's what he wants. He wants the draft capital. The more draft capital gives you more room to move. It gives you more room to potentially move up, to move back, whatever you want to do. Plus, looking at it, if this were to actually happen, the Lions would have 3 first round draft picks in 2022. If anybody has any questions, feel free to drop it in the chat. Look forward to reading it. Yeah, but all in all, this is kind of what is expected from Peter Schrager. And then specifically after that, we have Penei Sewell going to Carolina, protect Sam Darnold. Trey Lance going to Denver, kick and lock out of here. And Patrick Surtain, cornerback to Dallas. Now, obviously, we all have our wants. Look at Ryan here. Ryan's reaction. Still wants Parsons. Now listen, Micah Parsons, if Detroit was to move back to 16, he's not going to be on the board. Heck, I don't even know if Zaven Collins would be on the board at that point. However, Micah Parsons, if we are stuck at the 7th spot, if nobody wants to trade, Detroit is stuck at 7. Nobody's coming up. We're not going back, nothing like that. I love Micah Parsons. You know that. I think defensively, that's what we could use, is somebody as aggressive, as smart as him on the field. However, if we bounce all the way back to 16 and that linebacker is not available, I think drafting a wide receiver in the first round, giving Goff that weapon, and then in the second round looking to fill the linebacker spot would be huge. Now, Kwity Paye is a phenomenal player. I think he is slightly underrated and or rated just where he needs to be. However, at the 7th spot, too high for me. Jake Bishop, I heard the Lions are trading up for Tebow as he's re-entering the draft. You, sir, are wrong. Thank you. I appreciate the humor, though, on this day. You guys all drinking coffee? I hope so. Man, this is piping hot. Almost singed my tongue there. Now, here's a great question. Obviously, Zaven Collins, he might be on the board if we trade back and then we can get a wide receiver later in rounds. I think you are 100% correct. It's almost like this flip-flop that we could do. We could easily pick up a wide receiver in the first round or a linebacker in the first round, and then in the second round, potentially flip it, grab the opposite, or wait until a little bit more depth, third round, fourth round for a wide receiver. I think that's very possible. Now, one guy that I want to push before you all is a one Nick Bolton, linebacker from Missouri. Nick Bolton, I really believe in the second round, if he drops past, because Peter Schrager is predicting that Nick Bolton goes to Green Bay at 29. However, if Nick Bolton were to pass through into the second round, say we go through with this trade with Arizona, we're at 16, we pick up Devontae Smith, second round comes along. How do you all feel about picking up linebacker Nick Bolton in the second round? Because I've been looking at him, guy's explosive. He's got great instinct. He's literally like opposite when it comes mentally to Jared Davis, where Jared Davis struggled to read and react. Thank you, Patricia. You have done wonders for us. Where Jared Davis struggled to develop in the read and react. That is something that Nick Bolton has. He's got great instinct. And really, it's the reading and the reacting to the play unfolding that is exceptional. He does struggle to tackle, but covers a large portion of the field. All in all, I think Nick Bolton really could be a solid second round draft pick. Here's a great, hey, if the Lions go 7-10, I'll be so happy. Yeah, nothing. I think if the Lions do go 7-10, it is a winning season. It's a successful season for the Lions as a whole. Do I believe that the Lions could be in a wild card game, Lions fan? One Paulie LFP. That is a mouthful. Yeah. Does that answer it? I think there's always potential. Look at the NFC East last year. The NFC East, or what was, the NFC least, was very, very rough as a whole. And so you look at it, anything can happen. That's the joy about sports. Anything can transpire over the course of a season. Some people get injured. So could the Lions be a wild card team? Sure, yeah, they might be able to squeak it, but it would be unbelievable. It would actually be a phenomenon for the Detroit Lions to be a wild card team. I definitely see a losing season, being in the top 15 draft picks for next year. That makes the most sense just based off everything that's going on. However, I look at it, and all in all, I'm happy with the 7-10 season. Trevor Tarantowski, what up, Jay? Yo, Trevor, what up, my man? Do you honestly love any of our current wide receivers from free agency? Yes. Yes, I do. Great question. Brashad Perriman. Now, I know a lot of people might do one of these, like immediately hearing that, but I look at Brashad Perriman and I see a guy who offers a lot to the Lions, and you combine him very specifically, you combine him with all of the other wide receivers that we have picked up, the speed, the separation. I think Perriman, you look at his stats last year, and it's very quick to just write him off, right? It's very quick to look at a guy like him and be like, oh, well, he had only X amount of catches, X amount of yards. But when you look at him specifically with Sam Darnold and Joe Flacco and the insane difference, he picked up in 2 games with Joe Flacco half of his stats for the entire season than he did with Sam Darnold. Now, Sam Darnold he was very inaccurate last year. He was overthrowing the ball. He was all over the place. And so you look at Brashad Perriman with his speed, with a guy like Jared Goff, who is very accurate. I think that pairing, I love. I love it. I'm very excited to see Brashad Perriman here. I saw a lot of people, because I believe he played for Cleveland, unless my mind is blanking on me and I'm thinking of somebody else. Maybe I'm thinking of Damian Ratley. Yes, I am thinking of Damian Ratley. Brashad Perriman, though, I've heard a lot of people, a lot of fans, especially fans that know the game, that enjoy the game and watch it more for than just like, you just dropped another ball. Actual fans have made it very clear, hey, Brashad Perriman is actually a very good pickup. Yes, he has his struggles. However, all in all, him with Sam Darnold just was no bueno. So that is one that I do love. Oh, look at this. Kyle Massey, my man. Jay, what do you do for a living? And what do you do for fun when you're not talking Lions? For a living, I'm an artist, actually. So weird, but it's what I do. So, I mostly work in the medium of videography. That's kind of where how I make a living, is shooting videos for companies, but also just artistry as a whole. is how I make my living. It's a good time. It's fun. It's fun. Very creative, if you will. And so, that's also what I do for a hobby. As when I'm not talking lines, I write a lot of poems, a lot of videos, just abstract videos and stuff like that. So, spend a lot of time doing that. Also, I can always get behind a good game of Super Smash Bros. I main Lucas. If you're interested in that game, God, I do love some Super Smash. Great question. Thank you. That was more of a personal question. I appreciate that. Let's see. Yeah. Oh, look at this. Thank you, Jake Bishop. Appreciate the love that you could tell through the videos. And that's I have all the equipment for it. So it made it very easy uh, to get into this. Falcon kick. That's a cool one. That's a cool one. Excellent. Awesome. Yes. Man, I could talk about Smash all day. I'm gonna try not to, but Toon Link is very good. I do hand you that, Mr. Kyle Massey right there. And nothing asks, do I like Lord of the Rings? If I could reach it, if my arm had the extension, I have all three Lord of the Rings books right next to me. It's one of my favorite series of all times. I know that I quote it a lot in my in my videos. So yeah, love Lord of the Rings. The Fellowship of the Ring is phenomenal. I'm reading through it right now. Phenomenal book. Phenomenal book. All right, let's see here. Yeah, so all in all, I do want to talk also about the signing that we made the other day for safety Dean Marlowe from the Buffalo Bills. If you have any questions, feel free to drop it in the chat. Dean Marlowe is extremely underrated. I think that young man has developed so well over his course of time in Carolina and in Buffalo. Now, we have quite a few safeties on the roster at this point. Dean Marlowe coming in is going to compete, right? We know that right off the bat. He's competing with Tracy Walker and Will Harris. In that competition, I think Dean Marlowe, I really do believe that he's going to beat him out and be starting safety number one. That's my assumption. That's my guess. Dean Marlowe came into the league. You guys hear that motorcycle? It's the worst. Dean Marlowe comes into the league. He goes to Carolina. He worked a lot on special teams, also obviously as a safety. However, when you look at it, Sean McDermott was his coach over in Carolina. Sean McDermott gets the job in Buffalo, brings Dean Marlowe in. He's on the practice squad, I believe, in 2018, comes in 2019. The Bills' defense is so good. The depth is deeper than the Atlantic Ocean itself. I love the Bills. I love their defense. I love what they're doing there. And Dean Marlowe is the type of guy he's a specialty player. My brother is a huge Buffalo Bills fan. I reached out to him immediately and I was like, yo, man, how do you guys feel about Dean Marlowe? We just signed him. And he pretty much just came right at it and was like, you guys got a stud. And it sucks that we can't pay everybody this year. It's pretty much what it comes down to. Buffalo is having to shave off a lot of these guys where you can't pay. The cap space obviously has gone down. I mean, you look at Josh Allen and the possible extension. All in all, Dean Marlowe, who has developed well, specifically 2019, 2020, offers a lot. He took 50 some odd percent of his snaps, I think on special teams alone. He is going to offer a ton to the Lions. I love this signing. This might be my favorite signing thus far, I think, really, as a whole. Let's see here. I got a question. J-Dub. I love it. I'm hoping your last name starts with a W. J-Dub. Jay, I think good teams get their meat and potatoes in the mid round like a good Irishman. I like the idea of trading back for more draft stock. What are your thoughts? Yeah, man, I'm with you. I'm with you, especially because you look at Brad Holmes' track record. Brad Holmes' track record is a lot of excellent third round draft picks. Now, he's hit home runs in the first round before, obviously, as well, but also he's made some solid selections in the third, fifth. I mean, you look at Cooper Kupp, a great example. And so I trust Brad Holmes. And so with that, that's why I'm so keen on Peter Schrager's mock draft with the Lions trading back. No matter what, if the Lions trade back, I'm going to be excited because it's kind of like when you deflate a balloon, immediately there's that, oh God, like, man, there's so much excitement going into the first round. top 10 pick. You're excited, and it kind of deflates a little bit. However, when you sit there, you kind of watch, you're like, all right, you know what? We're picking up a first round in 2022, a third round 2022. And you start picking up that extra draft capital that you can trade, that you can work. I love that. So, yes, I agree with you. And I think Brad Holmes is the right guy to be working in those mid rounds. We get so focused. We really do. We get so focused on round one. I mean, do we not? Like everybody, we become almost obsessed with it. Like somebody put on the friggin' ring to Mordor. Obsession. Am I talking about Gollum? You know I am. Anyways, with that being said, we become obsessed with round one and really start to push off rounds 3, 5, 6, and forget how much talent is actually there and that can be acquired there. So, yes, I am with you. Let's see. Oh man, nothing. Hey man, sorry dude, it's bedtime. It's 1:30. I appreciate you. 1:30 a.m. in Australia. Thanks for hanging out. Appreciate the love. Appreciate you being here. All right, let's see here. Do I believe the Rams could go 13-4? I have no idea. I don't. I got to look at their schedule. I don't know. I don't know. Let's go over here. Ooh. Oh, let's talk Titans, my man. For those of you who have not ever watched Let's Talk Titans, go check them out. Great channel, good work, beautiful, crisp camera, audio solid. We are actually not affiliated with each other. However, he is a good dude who I love his content. So please go check him out if you're interested in any Titans info. Let's see, Jay, you're a legend, bro. My man. Any thoughts on Jim Schwartz coming back to the Titans? How'd you like him as a head coach back in the day? Yo, I think Jim Schwartz really, Jim Schwartz offers a lot. And very specifically, I think him going to Tennessee is a solid move. I think he's a very intellectually smart guy, makes a lot of good decisions on the field during the rapid fire of, oh my God, what are we going to do? I think that his intelligence and poise will prove well for you guys. Yeah, things didn't work out here in Detroit, but quite frankly, I don't blame Jim Schwartz for all of that. I really don't. Jim Schwartz has his issues, has the problems, as every head coach does. However, I think that Jim Schwartz is a solid pickup for you guys. I actually liked him, and I think he was in Philly, right? I believe he was in Philly. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I'm wrong there, but yeah, I like Jim Schwartz. Let's see here. Wow, what's hard is this chat just keeps like moving on me. So I'm trying to find one for you guys. Here's a good one. Jack Hayes bringing it in. Sorry if this has been asked already. Realistically, how many years or seasons do you think it'll be before the Lions become a serious contender? Great question, my man. Appreciate the question. It's a solid one. I really think that the Detroit Lions will be a contender for the North in 2022. I'm not saying that they win the North in 2022. I think they become a contender. I think it's a 10 win, maybe even hopefully an 11 win season, depending on what the draft, how we do with this draft, and then the 2022 draft. But I think we become contenders for the North in 2022 and actually take the North by 2023. That is my prediction. Call me crazy. Hey, you know what? My nickname growing up was J Bones. I used to play Crazy Bones. Hey, it all comes together, especially when you guys ever play Crazy Bones? There were those little miniatures that you could just, I don't know, they were kind of like, they had all different faces on Crazy Bones. Never mind. Look it up. You'll love it. It's a good time. Yeah, I think the Lions actually become contenders for the North 2022, win it in 2023, and really prove this is at least the hope. But if I take my bias outside of it and I look at what Brad Holmes, Dean, and Dan Campbell are bringing to the table, I see contenders there. But you guys tell me, what do you guys think? Rafiki Gaming, great question. What kind of coffee do you drink? Very specifically, I love Onyx coffee Intelligentsia from Chicago is very good. If you're going to get a Detroit coffee, I do like Dessert Oasis. Anybody downtown Detroit, Dessert Oasis, they make a solid cup of joe, or Calco coffee. It's great. It's good stuff. It's good stuff. Josh Thayer. Wow, look at this internet connection. Josh, we owe it all to you. Thank you, sir. Why you always lying? What do you think we're doing at 7? For those of you who have just made it into the live stream, thank you for being here. We're about a halfway through. Who knows? Maybe we'll end at 11:45. We'll see where the day takes us. But thank you for joining me today on this live stream. You guys are awesome. Appreciate you being here. I really do. You guys are phenomenal. The question is, what do you think we're doing at 7? Quite frankly, I think the Lions do want to trade back. That's what it feels like looking at it from the outside. It really does seem like listen, Brad Holmes is keeping the cards close to his chest. He's not letting, hey, we're interested in the QB. I mean, the whole thing is he's doing a good job of selling it, if I could be so bold as to say. I think he's selling it well. All in all, what do I think we do at 7? If we trade back, I do think a wide receiver and or defensive player is more likely, probably a linebacker. There are some solid linebackers. Kid from Notre Dame. You got Zaven Collins, Micah Parsons, even Nick Bolton. I know that he's a late first round, early second round pick, but those are some solid linebacker choices. At 7, if we stay at 7, my guess is it'll either be, if Kyle Pitts is available, we select Kyle Pitts. If not, I do believe that we go Micah Parsons. Penei Sewell might be there, which is interesting. And here's the thing about Penei Sewell, if I may be so bold. Penei Sewell, I think what's difficult is a lot of people, when one person gets hyped on something, and if you yell the loudest, everybody sort of hears that one thing, even though, you're shouting as loud as you can, that's what people are going to be drawn to. And then it gathers hype like a snowball and it works its way down. And so I think the possibility is that Rashawn Slater might be just as good, if not maybe just underneath Penei Sewell, could have a better career in the NFL. We don't know. That's boom or bust. But I look at a guy like Rashawn Slater and I see, hey, he might be just as good as Penei Sewell. And I'm seeing a lot of analysts and scouts start saying, hey, listen, Rashawn Slater could be just as good. So it will be interesting. I think the generational talent word has been tossed in there and everybody's buying it. And so I do wonder, is Penei Sewell going to turn out as good as he is expected to be? I'm going to enjoy this sip right here with just eye contact. That was nice. Thank you. Appreciate that. All right. Aaron Sanchez, what's up, brother? It's Aaron. Haven't been in the Lions loop much lately. Didn't know that there's 17 games now. Yes, and it's with or against the Denver Broncos. It'll be interesting. Going on to Titus D. Hey, Jay, what do you think is the best Lions free agency signing of the offseason? Call me crazy, but it's Dean Marlowe. That's my own personal opinion. Our defense was so atrocious that we have to bolster it up, and picking up a safety as good as Dean Marlowe, a guy who has really developed as much as he has, I love it. If you missed it, I talked about it much earlier, so I would check that out. You guys can, obviously pop back. But yeah, I think Dean Marlowe is probably my favorite pickup in the free agency period so far. Well, let's see here. Oh, Steve DeYoung giving me some coffee recommendations. I'll take that. Cole Cafe. Instant coffee. Oh, very intriguing. All right, let's see now. What do we got here? DC 8091. In reality, we'll get Parsons. If they fall, Slater and Sewell are LTs. Left tackle didn't play last year. Sewell for 2. And they have big weaknesses. I don't know what those last words are. So, anyways, yeah, I see what you're saying. And I do think that we will get Parsons. Yeah, I do think so. Plan B. What's up, Jay? Assuming we go OT with the first pick, who's the best fit? That's a good question. That's a good question. So, personally, I don't know. You probably just heard me very much leaning towards that Rashawn Slater uh, vibe. When I look at Penei Sewell, I see a very vicious, aggressive individual, and I love that. I love that. Rashawn Slater, I'm kind of in the camp of like, oh man, like if we go OT, who's the best fit? I really could see Slater being the better choice for the Lions. But quite frankly, I think it's also a flip of the coin between the two of them. I think they're both phenomenal, phenomenal players that are going to last a long time, that have the capabilities of everything that we need to protect Goff. And if we could protect Goff a little bit better, I love that. That's why somebody even asked me, they were like, oh man, why would you even consider, like, I know that Penei Sewell is so good. I know that Slater's good. Why would you even consider it when you have so many other holes to fill? Well, it's the truth of the matter is, man, if we could protect Goff any more than we already are, all that's going to do is help us excel. Get that ball out of his hands. You have blocking running backs, right? And then from there, you can find success. You protect your quarterback. Shoot, dude, that's man. You give your QB time in the backfield to toss that rack. You got some potential W's coming down the way. And so between the two, if I'm going to be honest with you, Plan B, I'm happy with either. I'm happy with either. If the Lions ended up, they select Rashawn Slater, I'd be like, all right, sweet, here we go. If it's Penei Sewell, I'm feeling the same way. I think both guys offer a lot, and really would be a fine selection for the Detroit Lions. Ooh, let's see. Pyromancer YT. Do you think Jared Goff will succeed in Detroit? I'm going to go with a hot take here. A hot take with my hot cup of coffee. Yes, I do. I think Jared Goff is a winner. And I'm not just saying that because Dan Campbell said, oh, he's a winner. No, I think that Jared Goff has what it takes to lead this team and to win. And a lot of people might be like, well, if Matt Stafford couldn't do it, how is Jared Goff going to do it? Jared Goff has been to the playoffs the last 3 years in a row, winning seasons 3 years in a row, 10 plus wins. Like, yes. And I know you might be sitting there saying, yeah, but look at the pieces around him. Yeah. And I get that. I totally understand that. And this year, we might not have those proper pieces for Goff. However, I think Jared Goff throws a nice ball. I think he's accurate. I think that, yeah, if you can get the pieces around him and you can defend and protect Goff, you have something in him that will win. He's a winner. I believe that Jared Goff will find success here in Detroit. And a lot of people might disagree with me. I know that's kind of a hot take, but I don't know. What do you guys think? Drop your thoughts in the chat. I really think that Jared Goff will succeed here in Detroit. This is just my personal opinion, looking at his gameplay and looking at what we're doing here. Let's see here. The Dern. You know what? I think I sent you a message, my man. Sorry about that. That's my bad. All right, let's see. I believe that contains. All right, let's go with this one. Kurt Romero. Romero. I'm gonna go with Romero. That feels right. Actually, you know what, Kurt? Right before we get to you, I do want to talk about this because I see Jonathan Foster says, I'm just worried that a bad year will kill Goff's confidence, and I like him a lot. I do. That's a good point. It's a good point. You know, you look at a guy like Goff who gets traded from LA for Matt Stafford and a ton of picks, and there's that feeling of like, man, am I not good enough? He comes to Detroit. He's a very even keel guy. Like when I watched his first video, I was like, oh man, like this guy either feels like he doesn't want to be here or he's just the most calm individual I've ever seen in my entire life. So would him coming to Detroit and getting obliterated hurt his confidence? Yeah, it very well could. Very well could. However, when you look at when I look at him and I look at his first year, I believe his first year was under Jared Fisher, right, with LA, but they weren't even in LA, right? I think they were in St. Louis. I don't even feels like it was forever ago. That year, you look at him and he comes back the next season reinvigorated and he plays phenomenally. I don't think it will hurt his confidence all that much. Do I believe that the Lions will draft a wide receiver or linebacker? Linebacker at 7. That's my guess. That's my guess. Back to Kurt. He said, Jay, I believe that good teams draft players that cost high money on second contracts, cornerback, edge, wide receiver, and offensive tackle in early rounds so that they can keep the cap down. Bad teams waste that money in free agency. You know what? That's a tough one. Yeah, I think bad teams, you look at what the Lions did, look what Matt Patricia and Bob Quinn did. I'm going to agree with you here. Bob Quinn, Matt Patricia said, hey, we have all of this money, and even the money we don't have, we're just going to spend away in free agency, sign in these guys. Like, we couldn't have done it any worse. And so, yeah, you are correct in that. Like, I look at it, man, we wasted so much money in free agency. Look at how Brad Holmes is handling this free agency. The magic number is a 1-year contract. Man, we've given out 1-year contracts to how many guys at this point? 4, 5, 6 guys. 1 year here, $1.75 million, $1.5 million, $1.75 million. Like, that's what we are seeing. And it's a great way to say, prove it, right? We're rebuilding, retooling this team, saying, prove it. And that's what I like. We're keeping that cost down. Rafiki Gaming, who would win in a who would win in a fight? Penei Sewell with mithril armor or Gimli? Rafiki, that is probably the best question I've ever received in my entire life. Penei Sewell with mithril. You kidding me? Of course. That mithril is going to stop all of Gimli's blows. Penei Sewell would just lay on top of him, smothering him to death. I think Penei Sewell with mithril wins that battle. That's a great question. Great question. Yeah, let's see here. J-Dub bringing it in. Jay, I love the cheap 1-year deals. I'm with you, my man. I get the feeling the Lions will continue to do this until they feel the roster is solid. What's your thought on that? Yes, my name is John, or yes, John W. Friends call me J-Dub. How did we? Good boy, son. Excellent. Yeah, you know what, man? When I look at it, I think that's the way Brad Holmes is moving, and that's the way that we're going, and I love it. And I think it's the right move. You sign these guys to these 1-year prove-it deals, and all in all, once you know that the roster is good, I like that we signed Jamal Williams to a 2-year deal. You know, I see that 2-year deal. I love that very personally. I think Jamal Williams is going to offer a ton to the Lions. Man, I wish we got him for a 3-year deal, if I'm going to be honest. But all in all, yeah, I think that we are going to continue to do that. I think pretty much we have come to the end of free agency with our defense, it feels like. You know, I think there's the potential of looking for I think we have pretty much come to the closing of our defense in free agency. We might see another signing or two, but all in all, I think we have seen it. I think we've seen it come together here. Rafiki Gaming is agreeing with me that Penei Sewell would absolutely destroy Gimli with mithril on. And here we go. Pyromancer YT, do you think Justin Fields will be a bust like all the other Ohio State quarterbacks? Look, here's the thing. I don't ever want to, and this is just me, I don't want to look at a team and say, because you came from there, you will be a bust. I don't think that's right. I think that's not the way to do it, because anybody can break a mold, you know. Do I think he'll be a bust? You know what? No, I don't. I think he's going to be your potentially like a guy who comes in, kind of drops off, and then comes back. Maybe like a Ryan Tannehill type of guy. They don't play any way similarly to one another. Do not misunderstand me. But what I'm saying is I could see him being that middle of the road QB, potential for greatness. But I don't know, man. I watched Justin Fields play, and I don't know if you guys watched the Pat McAfee show recently. Pat McAfee talked, he had on that doctor, that psychologist who runs the AIQ. And supposedly Justin Fields' AIQ is phenomenal. It's through the roof, and could really be something of a talent that will be proven. Justin Fields could be phenomenal is what I'm getting at, based on that AIQ, based on what you're seeing there, and based on his gameplay. Do I think he'll be a bust? I don't think it's my place. I don't think I can actually make that call looking at him just as a fan analyst. I think Justin Fields could be phenomenal. You get him on the right team, you get the right guys around him. I don't like his throwing motion. That's just me. I don't like that his arm like comes underneath. It's a little odd. But all in all, it's probably the similar to how I throw the ball from short to first base. It looks like a rubber band. It's not lovely. It's not lovely. So no, I don't think he'll be a bust. I think he'll come through and it'll be fine. But I also don't think it's my place to make that call. How'd I become a Lions fan? You know what, man? I'm gonna give you that one. That's a good one. And then we'll get to Trevor. How'd I become a Lions fan? So all you guys know, and if you don't know, you're about to find out. I grew up in New Jersey. Okay. And so growing up in Jersey, we didn't have a team. The closest thing we had a team to was the Jets and the Giants, both of those teams playing in the state of New Jersey, but neither of those teams being called the New Jersey Jets or Giants. Let me just tell you this. The ring of the Jersey Jets is so good. It sounds so good. The Jersey Jets. Man, and that's all I wanted as a kid. I just wanted a team to be representing my state. Now, in hindsight, the Jets were so god awful that thank God they weren't called the Jersey Jets and that I did not sell my soul into the slavery of the green machine. However, all in all, I wanted a team and I wanted it badly. Well, when I moved to Michigan, I moved here and I was like, okay, like I don't want to just be like, oh, hey, yeah, I live in this state now. I'm going to root for the Lions. Luckily, the Lions were god awful too. So I didn't feel bad when I said, I'm going to take you and make you my own. I'm going to adopt all your hardship and make it my own. But when I came here, I was like, I'm just going to, quietly watch the team. I don't want anybody thinking like I'm just like, oh, bandwagon fan. Thankfully, there was nothing to be a bandwagon for. Good times. So after 2-3 years of living here, finally, I was like, all right, I'm doing it. I'm going all in. Went all in, and it has been some fun years of misery. I love the Lions. I love them dearly. It's been a good time. Anyways, there it is. Okay, Trevor asking a great question. Okay, but Gimli versus Motor City Dan. I think you're right. Motor City Dan beats Gimli. He does. I'm sorry. All these guys are beating Gimli. Motor City Dan all day. Connor Myers, when are you going to be on the Pat McAfee show, my man? That would be a dream come true. If Pat McAfee had me on that show, would be one of the best days ever. It would be like somebody poured Skittles all over my head. And you're like, why is that a good thing? And I'm like, yeah, Skittles all over the head. No, that would be a blast. I feel like I got to have 10K subs at least to even be like, they'd be like, is that guy, he's real? Oh, he's not a bot? Cool. So, but if you guys will all push me towards Pat McAfee, that would be glorious. Me and Evan Foxy could talk about the Lions. Moving on. Let's see. Ooh, do I believe that a safety or linebacker is a bigger need? A linebacker. And I'm going to say it again. A linebacker. I really do believe that we need that threat in the middle of the field, somebody who can also play in coverage, but also get to the quarterback. We need that. We need that aggressor in the middle of the field. Picking up Dean Marlowe really helps us out there. I would love a linebacker over safety. Just my personal opinion. Just like my personal opinion on Fern Gully is that movie's trash. Absolute trash. And then Avatar's just a remake of it. I'm not saying Avatar's trash. I am saying Fern Gully is absolute garbage. All right. Yeah, Big Wes Kivian. We will not sign any big name free agents until we're ready to contend. This is smart. Yep, that's correct. I'm with you. You look at like the Bills. The Bills were ready to contend. They get, they end up trading, right? And they get Stephon Diggs. But yeah, I do not see us making any sort of big free agent move until 2023. Just my guess. Moving on. Ooh, great question coming in from Ian Saunders. I love our coaching staff, especially all the videos you put out for them. Who's your favorite coach? First of all, thank you for the raise the roof type thing. I love that. Who's your favorite coach? Campbell, Lynn, or Glenn, or any other coordinator? I mean, like right now, I think, quite frankly, all of the coaches, the coordinators that we've brought in, I can't believe it. I can't believe it. It feels like Christmas Day, and instead of, you're hoping for that one present, and then it's not there, and you're like, oh my god, what? And then your mom's like, boom, bingo, here it is. And you're like, well, crazy analogy. It feels like I just opened up present after present, and I'm like, I didn't even know I wanted this, and I got it. That's what it feels like with this coaching staff. I mean, I think Campbell is the perfect leader. He's the perfect leader because he's got that humility, right? He's humble. There's that servant leadership type of feeling that you get from him where it's like he does not consider himself above anybody. You could tell that the guy looks and he looks at his staff and he's like, we're all in this together. I'm here. Everybody else is here. We're doing this as a team. And that's what you need as a leader. Matt Patricia, it always felt like Matt Patricia was always defending himself, always being like, I'm the guy, I'm the guy, I'm the guy. And at some point, you're like, yeah, you're the guy who just sucks at coaching. And like, when I look at Campbell, Campbell's looking at all these other coaches and he's saying, they're the guy. That's perfect. That's the guy, Randall. He's looking at all of them. And I think his leadership is so vital for the Detroit Lions coaching staff, but for the locker room and really for us fans. Because let me ask you guys, man, were you like, I think we were all just ready to give up. There was that painstaking feeling of being like, why do the Lions even exist? Why do we even exist? And then a guy like Dan Campbell shows up, and once again, you believe in something and actually believe in it. It's not like the Matt Patricia where you're like, well, I guess you won a Super Bowl or two, so maybe this will be good. Like Dan Campbell came here and he won our hearts, and we haven't even played a game. And so what's it going to be like when we start playing these games? I cannot wait for the first week of September. I'm so amped for it. I just want to see how it all begins to unfold, but patience, my love. What movie is that from? 3, 2, 1, Lord of the Rings. Smeagol. You're welcome. Moving on. Whoa, so many comments. Fern Gully, the last rainforest. Do I think that we go with a running back in the draft or stay Williams, Swift, and Johnson? I do not. Great question. It's ordinary. Appreciate it. I do not think we go with a running back. I really think that we simply pass up on that. It's not the year. You look at the developing that we're going to be doing with Swift. Swift, it was his rookie year last year, how much he grew, how much better he really got over the course of the season. His development, that game against Jacksonville was just gorgeous. And when you look at bringing in a guy like Williams, I think that was so that we don't have to draft a guy this season. I could foresee us drafting a running back somewhere in, I think 2022 would make more sense just based on what our team is looking like as a whole. But all in all, I think we're staying with Swift, Williams, and Johnson. Johnson's the one where I'm like, man, I could see us trading him for some draft picks, even potentially this year, in which case we would need another running back, I think. Let's see here. Oh, Steve DeYoung. Would I rather go on with Pat McAfee show or have an internet, I'm assuming Zoom call with MCDC? Give me MCDC. Let's just, let's just get all three of us together. Let's just do it. Nah, I think between the two, I mean, Pat McAfee would definitely, that'd be a blast. But I would love to have that local meeting with Dan Campbell. I would very much enjoy it. Let's see. Oh, Jack Hayes. Great question. I'm still a bit salty with Kenny G leaving without a word of acknowledgement or thanks to the fans. What are your thoughts when it comes to contract time for Hawk? Do you think they'll let him walk? We're going to cover Hawk first. Hawkinson's here to stay. Hawkinson, there's no way we're letting Pro Bowler TJ Hawkinson walk. I could not imagine that. I see him getting the contract. TJ Hawkinson is phenomenal. He has been vital to our offense, specifically last year, seeing how much work he put in. And all in all, Hawkinson's here to stay. He's not walking. The whole Kenny G situation, man, it's sad. It's hard. I loved Kenny G. Kenny Galladay was huge. I loved watching him absolutely ball out. But unfortunately, the relationship with the Lions organization, with the coaches, was obviously so damaged that, he just sort of moved on and went to New York, and it was what it was. And am I still hoping for a thank you and a nod? Sure. Yes, I am. And I'm going to hold out for hope. But yeah, it's probably not coming. And all in all, yeah, it hurt. It hurt. Loved Kenny G. Definitely bummed with the way that whole situation unfolded. Let's see. Karen Calamari, Fern Gully was my oldest daughter's favorite movie. You should watch it again, see if it grows on you. No. Thank you though. Oh man. Now I'm gonna guess Graham Wilkie. I hope I'm saying your name right, Graham. I appreciate you because I always see you in the comments. Appreciate all the love, everything you've ever done here on Let's Talk Lions. Do you think we'll ever legit contend for a Super Bowl or even the NFC? I'm guessing the NFC North. In case you missed it earlier, yes, I really do. I really do. Now, granted, here's the thing. We have to build out a team before I can get to the Super Bowl and contending for the Super Bowl. We have to be an NFC North championship contending team. And I foresee that by 2023. Could it happen in 2022? Yes, I could see us contending for the NFC North. I see us winning the North in 23. Then in 2023, Graham, we'll have this conversation again and we'll talk about it. We'll talk about the Super Bowl because I don't want to get I don't want to get too ahead of myself. Let's see here. Yeah, you know what? It's ordinary. Imagine Pitts with Hawkinson. Yeah, and even Kyle Pitts came out and he talked about that. He was basically saying, hey, if me and TJ Hawkinson were together, tight ends for the Lions, he said people would have trouble measuring up to us. And it's true. And you know what? I saw somebody ask a little bit earlier, hey, if Kyle Pitts falls to 7 and we're at 7, do we draft him? I think it's highly possible and probable. Quite frankly, my guess is it's going to be obviously, Kyle Pitts, Micah Parsons, or Penei Sewell. That's the range of motion there. And all three of them I'd be very happy with. Kyle Pitts, and I know that this is what's hard for Lions is we see the letters TE and all we think is Ebron's brick hands, right? We just see him dropping balls faster than I dropped balls in dodgeball back as a kid, man. That was the worst. You get hit, you're like, man, I want to help my boy get him out of jail. Bing, ball goes up, whatever. I don't want to think about it. 6th grade was tormenting. All in all, Kyle Pitts, we see the tight end position marker next to him and we get very jaded. We can be very angry and we're like, I can't handle another tight end. But what you have to know, what you really have to consider is the fact that Kyle Pitts is more of a wide receiver than he is a tight end, in my opinion, looking at him. Maybe not more of, he could play both positions. He could play both positions and would be a nightmare of a matchup. So if we are going to stay at 7 and draft a receiver, I would rather take Kyle Pitts. That's my hot take. A lot of people are like, well, if Jamar Chase is there, would you rather get him? No, I'd rather get Kyle Pitts. I want the 6'6", 4.40, and I want that 245-pound man just absolutely dicing up the field with his size and speed. Not to mention his wingspan is 83 some odd. It's larger than any NFL player in the last 20 years. Kyle Pitts, if we could get him at 7, and if we do get him at 7, I'm happy. I'm happy. Speak Easy Sports popping in. What up, Doe? Yeah, what up, my man? Good to see you here. Thanks for coming on. You and I definitely have to collab. If you guys have not checked out Speak Easy Sports, does a lot of great stuff. I've seen a lot of stuff via hockey. Check him out. Great channel, great guy. Go check out his work. Let's see. Oh, you know what? Ryan, my man. Ryan Rakowski asking thoughts on the schedule for the Lions this season. Yo, it's going to be a tough one, Ryan. This schedule is absolutely nasty. Nasty. I mean, we're playing, obviously we have to play in our own division. So you're looking 2 Green Bay, 2 Minnesota, 2 Chicago, right? So there's 6 games. The NFC West. So Arizona, which that team is contending right now. They are going for it. You got Arizona, the LA Rams, the Seattle Seahawks, and the San Francisco 49ers. We have the AFC North. AFC North. So the Browns, the Steelers, the Baltimore Ravens, and who did I just miss there? And the Bengals. And then from there, we have Philadelphia, we got Atlanta, we got Denver, and I think I'm missing one. If I missed it, drop it in the chat. All in all, when it comes to that, man, our schedule is nasty. It's going to be a very difficult one. I see it, like I said, a success is if we win 7 games. If we win 5, I'm like, yeah, that feels right. That feels right. Rafiki Gaming. Oh my goodness. Good sir. You are too kind to me, dropping in $5. I really appreciate that. Thank you very much for the love and for the donation. He said, starting to get Jamal Williams, aka Swag Daddy on Let's Talk Lions Fund. Keep up the great work. Hey, listen, if we can get Jamal Williams on this show, that might be the best day ever. If any of you know Jamal Williams, reach out to my boy, because Jamal Williams, that guy is one of the funniest, most lighthearted, positive individuals that I would love to have on Let's Talk Lions. So maybe that's what we do here. So I appreciate it, Rafiki Gaming. Looking, oh, we got another one. Hey, what maybe? Well, listen, I am not a YouTuber. I'm definitely not a YouTuber. That is reserved for people that definitely have made it. We're just a community here, and I just sit here and talk about the Lions. What made me want to do this though is A, my love for the Lions, and B, really, I could not stand national media. National media absolutely obliterates the Lions on every show, and they just here's my thing, there's actual fans. There's fans that are looking for Lions information and want to hear the good, the bad, and the ugly. I don't just want to hear people making fun of our organization, making fun of our players, making fun of the fans. And I was like, you know what? Screw that. I'm going to make my own channel and I'm going to talk about the Lions. And hopefully I build a community of people that are like also feeling the same way of being like, you know what? I'm tired of the national media just giving us the middle finger. And so that is why I started Let's Talk Lions. I just said, I love this team. My wife does not like football. And so I'm not going to talk to her about it. I was like, I might as well talk to a camera and see if anybody enjoys. And so here we are. I appreciate it. Uh, let's see. Ooh, what do I think about Jalen Waddle? You know what? To me, he's the second best receiver in this draft. I look at him and I see a lot of potential. Yeah, Jalen Waddle, and then you've got Devontae Smith. That's where between the two, I think Jalen Waddle I think he's the second best receiver. I think that he offers a lot. I think he would perform well on Miami with Tua. That's where I could see him really having his most success, at least right out of the gate. But all in all, looking at Jalen Waddle, he's not who I would pick for the Lions first. Like I said, if I have to get a receiver and we have the choice of the lot, I'm going Pitts. I'm going Pitts, man. Hey, Ryan Rakowski, I appreciate it. You're my go-to channel for Lions info. Thank you for everything you do. Ryan, dude, thank you, man. All of you. Thank you. Thank you for being here. Thank you for joining me, because like you guys make this as fun as it is. You really do. All of your comments, you guys hanging out with me here on a Saturday at noon. You guys always bolstering, pushing my content forward, encouraging me. You guys make this as fun as it is. That's just the truth. And I'm not saying that to like pat, make you guys like feel good. I'm actually telling you that you should feel good. Like you guys have made Let's Talk Lions what it is. You have built up this community. So I appreciate that you come here for your Lions news. I appreciate that you love my dumb Lord of the Rings references, and all in all, that we're all having a good time. And yeah, Jonathan Foster, the media friggin' hates us, and I'm done with it. So that's why we're here. Let's see here. If you're not far from Birmingham, let's get something going with you, myself, and Jamal. You know what? It feels like that's what's going to happen. I'm not far from Birmingham. Let's get something going. Speakeasy Sports, Jamal Williams, and Let's Talk Lions all hanging out. That's what it feels like. Oh, favorite D&D class from Trevor Tarantowski. Bro, cleric. All day of the life domain. It's going to get real nerdy for a second. Casting cantrips left and right. I got my spell slots all set up. At some point I'm using prayer of healing, spiritual weapon. I love being a cleric. A cleric is the way to go. Plus, like, man, sacred flame, using that cantrip, not affecting the spell slots. It's a good time. But my guy, I'm a hill dwarf cleric, so super short, stout. My armor class is pretty heavy. For those of you that are like, I just lost a lot of respect for you. That's fair. I don't blame you. That's fair. Oh, moving on. Yeah, you know what? I think unless anybody else has any other questions, I do see one. Have I seen any of the Falcon and Winter Soldier episodes? Yeah, you know what? Big Marvel fan, Marvel Cinematic Universe. My wife loves Marvel, so yes, we are all caught up on the Falcon and the Winter Soldier. Great show, love it, love it. WandaVision was phenomenal, by the way. Appreciate it. It's ordinary. Love the streams. Keep up the good work. You guys are phenomenal. Wow, man, you guys, we got some serious D&D fans in here. I'm loving this. This is really good stuff. I appreciate it. Now it makes sense why my D&D references are landing so much more. All in all, thank you all. I think we're gonna wrap up shop today. It was a good day. Thank you guys for liking this video. Thank you for chatting. And if you're in the replay, thank you for commenting. You guys have made Let's Talk Lions what it is, and you're going to continue to be. And so be prepared. Get ready. In the next probably like 15, 20 minutes, I'm going to post a video specifically all about the trade back mock draft reaction with Peter Schrager. Check it out. Send it to your friends. If you guys have Lions fans, friends, I appreciate the love. I appreciate you guys sending forth my work, because that's how we grow here. And with the growth, we can do bigger and better things, because one day this will be my full-time job. And when it is what we can do all day. So we'll see. That's the plan. That's the goal. Got to have big goals. Appreciate everybody coming in today. Kyle Massey finishing it out. Enjoy your Sunday, man. God bless. God bless you all. Appreciate you all being here. And I will catch you all later. Graham, my man. See you all. Have a great Saturday. Enjoy your Sunday. And we'll be back at it Monday with some more Let's Talk Lions. So until then, have a good day. Thanks for joining the chat, everybody. Thanks for being here for the live stream.